If you check the news right now, it feels like you're plugging into a live feed of global collapse. Every update is another layer of crisis compounding on the last. There is a biological reason for this. It's called the availability heuristic. Our brains evolved to act as a survival filter. Threats get instant priority because noticing danger keeps you alive. Everything else gets blocked. Take Wednesday, May 6th, 2026. If you scanned the traditional headlines that morning, it looked exactly like any other ordinary, bleak day on the internet. But when curators bypassed the rage bait and filtered 25 independent sources for actual solutions, they found something else. They documented exactly 882 positive global breakthroughs published on that specific day. So what happens to our understanding of the future when we step outside our evolutionary bias and look at the hard data of human progress? Let's start with the existential threat of disease. We tend to view cancer as an immovable, permanent reality of the human condition. To see where that narrative is breaking down, we have to look at Australia. This chart tracks cervical cancer rates in Australia. For women under 25, the BBC reported that the number of new diagnoses has flatlined at absolute zero. They are mathematically on track to become the first country to eliminate a cancer entirely. That same morning, the US FDA authorized early access to Revolution's new pancreatic cancer pill, while officially approving a separate breast cancer drug developed by Pfizer. The diseases we fear most are being actively dismantled at the molecular level every single day. Then there is the climate. The prevailing narrative is one of an exhausted planet locked into an inescapable reliance on fossil fuels. That anxiety is easy to justify when you look at the ongoing global oil crisis. But according to the New York Times, the financial pain of that crisis is acting as a catalyst, accelerating investment across the renewable energy industry. And macro investments are triggering micro-level ecosystem recoveries. Following moves like Octopus Energy's $500 million reforestation push, we are seeing the direct results on the ground, like the documented return of beavers to UK nature reserves. Ecological recovery is an active, heavily funded, and currently executing global operation. Finally, there is the cultural dread surrounding artificial intelligence. The fear is that AI operates as a rogue, human-replacing threat. But researchers at Penn Engineers are using AI differently, deploying it as a specialized analytical tool to solve mathematical structures that have stalled human progress for decades. Look at this visual representation of inverse partial differential equations. These are notoriously brutal mathematical roadblocks. Algorithms are finally providing the framework to untangle them into clean, workable solutions. And when you apply that kind of algorithmic logic to societal bottlenecks, you get measurable human impact. Volunteer Match used enhanced AI to distribute human help more fairly across nonprofits, increasing charity reach by 8%. The actual daily application of this technology is largely focused on optimizing human empathy and solving structural problems rather than initiating science fiction catastrophes. Every single development we just discussed happened within the exact same 24-hour period. This is where our perception creates friction with reality. Modern progress is a relentless, industrial-scale daily process. Our evolutionary hardware simply lacks the bandwidth to process hundreds of positive milestones simultaneously. So this massive, continuous flow of human achievement remains practically invisible compared to the loud signal of a single crisis. We don't have to ignore the world's real problems, but we do need to recalibrate our baseline to include the hard data of our successes. Pure pessimism is factually incorrect. Tomorrow morning, hundreds of new breakthroughs are mathematically scheduled to